here, Jeffrey, you like to do this here too while we're doing this.
Mute button signs.
Yep. So that's a good reminder to mute.
Right, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to use my phone for the social media post so it doesn't drive us crazy during this. You have a mic, Elsbeth? Or, oh, you good? All right, you guys set? 12, good? Everybody good? All right, good afternoon. Today's press conference is obviously about the Snowmageddon event that we're having out here. I just wanted to highlight the work that's being done, the resources available to the community, and the cooperation and collaboration of different state and municipal entities from the county, municipalities, and our state. The individuals we have here representing Pennsylvania Emergency Management, Pennsylvania State Police, and we have also Secretary Carroll here from PennDOT in person to handle this, along with our public safety entities and individuals from Erie County Public Safety and the City of Erie. So we want to highlight a couple things to refute some misinformation that is circulating around there. The Pennsylvania National Guard is activated here under the governor's order, and the National Guard, they are here for emergency management purposes of rescue and recovery, evacuations of folks stranded in the vehicles. Most of that has been done. Also, they're covering down on the mission in a partnership with the healthcare systems to ensure essential workers in the healthcare fields that are unable to make it to work, that are in some of these areas along Route 5 and some other impassable roads, that we have military grade vehicles readily available. These folks can call their work contacts and we'll make those dispatch services available. We also have municipal resources that we're drawing down. The county is utilizing American Rescue Plan funds through the Municipal Gap Fund that was funded this year to cover the cost in these municipalities to provide these emergency services. Obviously, there's a lot of different lives and things that are at stake right now. So we have current work operations going on in the City of Erie. That's providing private contractors to clear snow, to pile snow, and get these open. So various heavy equipment in the City of Erie, Mill Creek, Harbor Creek, and Northeast that are most heavily affected. We have crews, partnerships for different municipalities and counties as far as Venango County and other resources into Chautauqua, New York, and over into Ohio providing those services. We intend to continue to add contractors as available. So if there's local private contractors that have heavy loaders, skid steers, large plow trucks, road graders, things of that nature, they can reach out to the county, reach out to my Facebook page. They can call in here to the non-emergency line at Public Safety, and we can get those folks added to that list. We made recommendations to the local school districts to remain closed. The courthouse is going to remain closed for Monday and Tuesday, at which point we'll reassess where we are. The main purposes of these, any non-essential businesses that can participate to keep folks off the road. We really want to minimize the amount of travel. One, that serves a dual purpose of keeping folks off the road, creating more incidents for the state police, for EMS, for PennDOT, and the local municipalities have to deal with. It also keeps these folks home, safe and out of the way. The faster that we can do this work with the less incidents, the quicker we can get back to the business as normal. So those are the things that we're really highlighting on the municipal gap funds to support the municipalities through this disaster relief. That's going to remain in effect until midweek, and we'll reassess again on Wednesday. The 911 protocols. That's another thing we want to drill down on. 911, you call that only in the event of emergency. There's non-emergency lines. Folks can call 211 for different things. 814 shelter. We have warming shelters both open in Fairfield and Harbor Creek. We've got a church at CMA in Northeast, and we've got warming shelters in Wattsburg. So if folks find themselves in a power outage, things where they need to seek warmth, seek shelter, we can make arrangements. The National Guard will be available to transport folks to shelter. If anybody's watching this, they're stranded in a vehicle, they can call the non-emergency line. They can message any social media platform here at the county on my page, my personal page. Whatever we need to do to get these folks to shelter, that's made readily available. So at this time, I'm going to introduce Secretary Carroll for some remarks related to PennDOT and the work being done to keep our highways open. So Secretary Carroll.
Okay. Thank you, County Executive. I'm Mike Carroll, the PennDOT Secretary, and I can tell you that since Friday, the Pennsylvania State Police, the Pennsylvania Emergency Management folks, and PennDOT, under the coordination of Governor Shapiro and the Governor's Office, have directed resources in an effort to meet the needs of the folks here in Erie County. The challenge is obvious, but the good news is that with the coordination of PEMA and the good work of our partners, including the Pennsylvania National Guard, we're up to the challenge. Obviously, it's an ongoing event, and we will continue to meet the needs that are before us. The folks that work for PennDOT here in Erie County have been supported by PennDOT resources from all across the state, from as far away as Somerset and Allegheny counties to the south, and Lycoming and Columbia counties to the east. The PennDOT resources have been directed in an effort to support the very talented group that we have here in Erie County. So my message to the public is simple. Don't travel unless you absolutely have to. Give us today and tomorrow to restore order to the transportation network. We have made great progress over the last 36 hours, and I have every expectation with the work of state officials, county officials, and local officials will meet the needs of folks here in Erie County. So, County Executive, I'll turn it back over to you and thank all involved for their tremendous work. It'd be malpractice now for me to talk about emergency responders across this county, police and fire, EMS, and others. Everybody's doing their level best to meet the needs that are quite challenging, and I'm proud of the work that's been done. Sir?
Thank you, Secretary Carroll. Yeah, I would echo the first responders have been incredible through this. There's a lot of obstacles and navigational hazards. Our Presque Isle and different snowmobile clubs that have been active in getting folks to safety, getting EMS personnel to respond to calls. There's so many folks, and the way this community's come together, unfortunately, we can't thank them all. There's a lot more work to be done. I'll echo what the Secretary said, is we are up to the task, meeting the demand as is, where is. So at this time, I'll open it up to questions from the media for anyone here on this panel.
What are the biggest things that residents can do to help you guys get your job done, and especially help those emergency responders assess the situation?
So I think the one thing that is clear from this, that both the Secretary and I agree on, and all these folks here, it's stay home. Stay in place, stay safe, only travel when necessary. When we talk about necessary travel, that's things like emergency calls, hospital appointments that are unforeseen. If it's a doctor's appointment that's maybe not critical, look to reschedule those types of things. Obviously, folks, for essential services that need to get to work, we really want to minimize the travel on the highways, keep folks from, it only takes one semi, one car, or a couple cars to clog up an entire system that allows this to back up. The effects of what we're seeing on a lot of places through Route 5 that are completely impassable, or at least where early this morning they're being worked on, that's a result of snow plows and snow removal equipment not being able to access those areas. So now you need the National Guard, now you need the wreckers, you need all those things in order to remove those obstacles so they in turn can clear the snow. And every minute that passes while it's snowing, it accumulates. And this is measured, unfortunately, in feet and not inches during this event. So I would just echo that. Stay home, stay home, stay home.
Yeah, more snow on the way too. Forecast is looking into like Thursday or something. Are you guys prepared to pivot if this whole situation does get worse? What are the protocols? What are the plans there?
So 100%. I mean, obviously, emergency management is in the business of prevention, to look at those unforeseen circumstances. There's a lot of work that's being done in terms of projecting. I mean, as the Secretary said, they're bringing PennDOT resources from other areas of the state. The county's working with other counties, other municipalities. We've got plows from Franklin. We've got plows from all over the state into Ohio, Jamestown. We're going to continue to draw down on those resources, but also to build up a reserve list. Once we meet the need here, we'll have that in the event that if the storm does accumulate very quickly and it becomes unmanageable, we're going to have the resources on the ground this time around where we had to build those. So I think we're positioned very well to manage whatever comes. I mean, at this point, it is a management game, and we need the partnership of the residents of Erie County to stay off the roads, to allow us to remove the obstacles, and let these folks do what they do best. Let the experts apply their trade, apply their craft, and keep their families and themselves safe.
What have been the biggest ways the National Guard has been helping and will continue to help the residents of Erie County?
So that's a multi-pronged thing. You know, I thank the governor for his quick response in that, and the Pennsylvania tag, and you know, I mean, it's a great thing. It was a unit that I used to be an officer in, so getting to see some of the guys that I've served with has been great. Obviously, the wreckage and recovery. There's been some things, some heavy wreckers that weren't available. Pennsylvania National Guard stepped up with a crew with that. Some light troop carriers to be able to get folks evacuated from some of these wreckage scenes early on in the early evening and early times of these events. That's been critical, but really stepping up with the hotline and us being able to work through the emergency command center here and get the essential folks, the doctors, the nurses, you know, your healthcare workers, to keeping these hospitals manned so we don't see folks being forced over, you know, and really taking a beating during this time. So really it's a partnership with these agencies all around that made that possible.
Yeah, in the state itself, Governor Shapiro has said that it is a disaster area. How are you guys working with the state itself to, you know, manage this entire situation?
So, I mean, I think that's evident. I mean, for the folks at home to really understand the caliber and the individuals that are here, I mean, the fact that you have Secretary Carroll here in the flesh, and he's been here, I mean, we've stared at each other a lot longer than we care to, I think, over these last couple of days. I mean, you see this command center. This is a cabinet-level secretary that's been on the ground with your county executive, with your EMS people, your emergency management people. I mean, that's something that you typically don't see. You got your Western folks, you got your commanders of the PSP troops working together. I mean, the National Guard tag from the top down. So, I mean, just these folks are the tip of the iceberg. Each one of them represent folks that when you get B-roll, you're going to see who's here in the command center, but that doesn't measure the resources that each of these folks employ out there on the ground that you don't see. Those are the ones that are truly doing the work out here digging our community out of the snow. Any other questions?
A final message to people who, you know, hunkering down, braving this storm. Yeah, any final thoughts?
I mean, we've said it again, stay home. That if folks really want to help, it's stay home, be patient, give these plow workers and these PennDOT crews and these private contractors, give them the room that they need, give them the grace. Like the secretary said, this is only a couple days. We're looking at 2 days here. We just need you to hunker down for today and tomorrow, potentially into Tuesday, and then we're going to reassess based on the snowfall from there. But really, all I can stress is stay home, keep the strain off the highways, keep the strain off the EMS workers, and give these hardworking people, these first responders, the grace and the respect that they deserve for doing this work.